How do you make decisions about who to work with in business? And there's 3 different categories I'm going to talk about. So if you're a projector yourself in business, or you're supporting a projector in business, then I would love to explain to you how do you tackle this? So the first category that I want to talk about is clients. Let's assume that you do some face-to-face work with clients. If this one isn't appropriate or applicable to you, you can jump forward to the next one. When it comes to whether you work with a particular client or not, the thing that I want you to be mindful of as a projector is asking yourself the question, do they recognize you? And recognition means that they value you, that they want your guidance. It is essential. If you just take on clients because you need the money, or you take on a client because maybe you received a referral and you don't want to upset somebody, or any other number of reasons, you feel like you can't say no to somebody. If you take on a client who doesn't recognize and value your wisdom and guidance and want your insights as a projector, what happens is you end up feeling really burnt out, really resentful. Even if they're paying you great money, it is not joyful for you. It's not good for your health. And unfortunately, even if you do a great job of serving that client, do you really want more clients like that? Do you really want more referrals from somebody who you didn't enjoy serving? So that's why that matters. Yes, follow strategy and inner authority. But if your inner authority, if you're like really plugged into your inner authority, it'll say no for working with a client who doesn't value and recognize you. So that's category number 1. Category number 2 is, who do you work with when you need coaching, mentoring, guidance of any kind, education of any kind? Now, you could want to work with any number of human design types. You could want to work with any number of configurations over time. So yes, following strategy and inner authority, and if you're doing it well, what it will guide you to is that you recognize and value the other person for the particular skill or the particular offerings that they have. Now, this is really important because here we have a role reversal. This is about you wanting something from them. Now, that person doesn't have to recognize or want your guidance. And this is really important because you as a projector don't need to be here to guide. You're not here to guide everyone. And I have seen some really funky dynamics where I've had, when I was in a funky vibration, let's say it that way, where I would have clients who would then want to guide me. And it would feel disgusting, right? And when I think about some of the people who I get mentoring and support from, some of whom are not projectors, but they have a body of knowledge, or they have a skill that I want to learn, and I value and recognize what they have to offer. And I don't expect them to ever ask for my guidance or ever want my guidance. It doesn't matter, right? So when you are looking for support from another person, of course, you want to feel like it's a fair exchange, right? So you want to feel like you're paying a good amount of money for the thing that they're bringing into your life. But you also want to feel like, is this the right information, the right skill at the right time? But when it comes to the person, do you value and recognize them as their being their authentic self? And if they never asked you for you to guide them, would you want to learn from them anyway? Very useful question. Now, at this point, I want to just ask you, if you are finding this helpful and you can think of somebody else that you could share it with, please do that, because that's how the channel grows. I'm a fourth line, so we need to share it through the network. And otherwise, if you can't think of anyone that it would be useful to share it with, if you're enjoying this so far, hit the like button, because that will help share it with more people anyway. So thank you. And then the third category here is team members. So who do you take on as staff, contractors, like support members, team members? Who are you getting in your corner to help you take this thing out into the world? And when I think about those people in my team, they are people who, and there's 2 levels here. There's they recognize and value what I'm offering. They're always people who are like, oh, I want all your work. I want my fingers in all of your pies, right? So they love what I do. They value and recognize me. But for me to have them on my team, I need to value and recognize the role that I'm going to put them in. I need to see and believe and know and feel, wow, this person has something really valuable to contribute to my business. And I can see that if I put them in this role, not only are they going to be really happy doing that, it's going to be a really good use of them. It's going to be really valuable and helpful to me and the business in doing so. So there is recognition in both ways. And to be honest, like my best team members are actually people who can actually like when they're projectors, is that they can actually like poke and prod me and like point out some of my blind spots. And they're not attached to being my coach. They're just like, well, Carolyn, we want to share the vision to as many people. So maybe you just want to look at the fact that, you know, like that little thing that you're doing over there is counterproductive, right? So that's a layer that you can consider when you know that you have team members who are projectors. So from here, we have a couple of options. If you know that you would like more resources, like you want to go deeper on anything that I said, I have 3 options for more resources in the video description now. And after I edit this YouTube live, then I will put it in the pinned comment as well. A lot of things are accessible on my website, carolynsouthwell.com. And otherwise, I'll put some useful things on screen